If you are mystified by the rules for German travel prepositions, this video is for you. I will go over the rules for using destination prepositions like nach, zu, auf, in, and on correctly, and give you some interesting examples. And let me tell you, it's really important to get these correct. I had a friend a few years back who was rather fluent in German, but still she sent me an email one day talking about her life on this coastal region and said, Ich fahre meine Familie ins Meer. That's not what she meant to say. And even I have been guilty of this. In my other video, a subscriber pointed out that I said, Ich mache Urlaub in Mallorca. Ich mache Urlaub in Mallorca. Instead of Ich mache Urlaub auf Mallorca. Ich mache Urlaub auf Mallorca. Because I was thinking, okay, we're going to a foreign country, but Mallorca is an island. It has to be auf. So, didn't mean to say that. So let's go over this so you can get it right and waylay any confusion. And before we start talking about these, let's address something that is a perennial problem with English speakers talking in German about where they're going to. And that is that in English, go can mean anything. It's very general for traveling. But in German, the translation is gehen, and that is a lot more specific. So when you're talking in German, you need to be specific about how you are traveling. So if you say gehen, that means that you are walking on your own 2 feet. So you don't want to use that broadly. So if you're not walking, then think about how you're traveling. If you're flying in an airplane, say fliegen. If you're driving your car or riding in some kind of vehicle, fahren. I can't think of any other way to travel. There might be others, but look up the corresponding verb and be careful about that. So we're going to start with nach. And nach is used for cities, broad regions, towns, and countries. So any place basically where if you were to faint and then just wake up there for some reason, where am I? Oh, gee! You would not know where you were because it's such a big place. Unless, of course, you wake up under the Eiffel Tower or something. Whoa, look at that! But that's another matter. So, you could say, Ich fahre nach Chicago. Ich fliege nach Europa. Ich fliege nach Deutschland. But you could not say, Ich fahre nach dem Supermarkt. That doesn't work. Guys, I forgot one exception, and that is when die is part of the country name, like die Schweiz or die Vereinigte Staaten. Then you would say in. So, ich fliege in die Schweiz. Ich fliege in die Vereinigte Staaten. Back to the video. Then we have zu. Now, zu is for smaller places, and it kind of indicates that you arrive there, but you're just there. You're not inside. You're not in any specific location. You're just there. So you can use zu for the supermarket. You could use it for the train station. Locations like that are small, you would know if you woke up in a supermarket. Well, this is convenient. I need some of that. There would be groceries there. So you could say, Ich fahre zum Supermarkt. Ich fahre zum Bahnhof. Things like that. Then we have in. Now, in is a bit tricky because this is a two-way preposition, and I know I've talked about this before, but it's so important, we need to go over it again. In can be accusative or dative. And what makes the difference is whether or not you're going from point A to point B. So if you're staying in the same place, then that's dative. But if you're going from point A to point B and you're traveling, that is accusative. And so you can use it similarly to the English word into to say that you're going into things. So let's take the example of the supermarket. You could say, ich fahre zum Supermarkt. You could not say, ich fahre in den Supermarkt. Just don't do that. You could say, ich gehe in den Supermarkt. You could say, ich fahre zum Fitnessstudio. Do not say, ich fahre ins Fitnessstudio. But you could say, ich gehe ins Fitnessstudio. Now, if you say, for example, ich gehe im Fitnessstudio, that's dative. And that means you're literally walking in circles or something inside of the fitness studio. You're not going in, you're just there inside. Great exercise. Then we have auf. This one gets tricky because cultural perceptions and just kind of collective perceptions play a role in this. So auf is used when you're going to be on a surface, and there's no scientific way to determine when to use this. You just have to notice when other German speakers are using it and log that in your brain. So for example, you have the Marktplatz. It's very common in Germany. People go there a lot. So you would say, ich gehe auf den Marktplatz. Again, if you use, this is a two-way preposition as well. So if you use accusative, it kind of means that you're going on to. And if you use dative, it means you're already on there and you're just kind of moving around on there. So, ich gehe auf den Marktplatz. And you say that because you're on a surface and you're going onto the surface, or auf dem Marktplatz. You're already there. Now English speakers would say in the marketplace, or in this little square, in the square. And I think that's just different perceptions and how people have historically referred to it, English speakers might think, okay, there's buildings around it, so you're in something. German speakers might say, well, it's just this big empty location and you're walking on it. There's no real scientific way to determine either one, just observe. Same thing with an island. I mean, in English you would say island. In German you would also say island. So again, Mallorca. Ich mache Urlaub auf Mallorca. On Mallorca, because it's an island. And I just realized we did not address ins Meer. So, ich fahre meine Familie ins Meer. That's accusative. So you're driving your family into the ocean.
Oh.
Don't do that. Now, how do you refer to the ocean when you're going there? You don't really use in because you're not going into it, and especially if you're driving there, you're not going to be driving around in the ocean. Cars just don't do that. So do not use in for the ocean, basically, unless you're swimming. That makes sense. Yeah, another example is the park, right? Like, if you think of a park, it's just a grassy area you're supposed to be hanging out in, right? So you could conceptualize it to be similar to a Marktplatz. But in German, you don't say auf dem Park. You don't say that. You say in dem Park. Im Park. Yeah, there's no real way to resolve that issue other than just spending a lot of time reading German, practicing German, seeing how the natives do it, or looking it up in the dictionary. Sometimes it's in the dictionary. And then we have an, and this means at, so you can use it for at the dinner table, at the wall, whatever you want, but it's also good for larger locations. So if you were going to the coast, you could say, an der Küste. You could say, ich gehe am Strand. I'm like going to the beach. You don't say auf dem Strand, which again, it would be logical to say that because basically the beach is sand that you're on top of, but everyone says an, as in at, on. Maybe because it's considered kind of part of the coast, I don't know. So again, an is used depending on cultural preference and collective preference of German speakers. And you just have to figure that out. So you could say, ich fahre an die Küste. So you could say, ich fahre an der Küste. So that's on for you. So you have nach, zu, in, auf, an. Now, on is also a two-way preposition, so it could be accusative or dative. It just depends on, are you doing on to, or are you assuming that you're already at the thing? So that's it. If you have ideas to share with your fellow learner about how to remember these, comment below. If you have questions, comment below and I will try to answer them, or maybe someone from our lovely little community. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Tschüss!